Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. We're here for the news this morning. And we're going to be looking at transfer news, of course, but Jadon Sancho is the big story today. We're going to also be looking at the Ligt rumours that have been going around for the last couple of days and a little update on that and potentially, unfortunately, quashing those rumours even so early on. They barely had a chance to gain any life at all, but yeah, it looks as though that one may not be happening, or it certainly may not be happening anytime soon. Let me know in the comments. Max says, miss me. You say miss me on every single video. Like some sort of super villain sneaking into the comments. Miss me? No? It's good to see you, though. Oliver in there as well, saying, anybody notice how the streams have had less errors since the lockdown and Cam's not here? You know what? I would be the first one that would love to blame Cam for these problems. But yesterday I had to cancel one stream because it stopped working. So I think saying that they've had less errors is maybe a little bit short-sighted by both of us there, so I'll stay away from doing that. Someone says, is the Icelandic flag to remind you of the defeat of the Euros? Yeah, it is. Never get complacent. It's to make sure I'm always on the top of my game. Because if we slip up once, like England did at the Euros, it's game over. But yeah, today we're going to be talking a little bit about Jadon Sancho and the updates and the sort of, again, the constant dribble, the constant sort of drip of updates, the sort of water torture type updates that we're getting from this Jadon Sancho deal. That's not the page I would like. I would like this page. And this is from Manchester Evening News. They're talking and a little bit more of a kind of a sort of bird's eye view, a kind of a pulled back, almost out of body experience type transfer story. This one, where we're talking Manchester League, Jadon Sancho and Harry Kane are helping Manchester United. So this is a story about how the types of players United have been linked with, and this is what I was alluding to at the start and in the tweet that we put out to go alongside this video. Perhaps a change of tact from United. Man United have been linked with 3 big names in the summer transfer window, and it's an encouraging sign for the club. If it would be quite a transformation to go from signing Odion Ighalo on loan in January, slander. Who's written this? Who's written this? How dare you insult that man? If Manchester United were to sign Kane, it would send shockwaves through the Premier League. It's hard to see Tottenham's hard-nosed master negotiator of a chairman allowing Kane to leave Spurs for a domestic rival, but the fact that it's even being seen as a possibility at the moment suggests United may have turned a corner in their rebuild under Solskjaer. So it's strange to see finally. I mean, Manchester Evening News, regardless of what you think of them, there was a time a couple of months ago where United were not being spoken of favourably in any of the major newspapers, on any of the media outlets, even the likes of the BBC, who, I think try their best to be impartial and try their best to kind of have balanced views on things. Even the BBC were one of the first to sort of throw United under the bus. Solskjaer's not good enough. United are never going to win anything under him. Where's Pochettino? It was so doom and gloom, even just a couple of months ago over on there. To now see the likes of the Manchester Evening News, who obviously have a bit more of a stake in Manchester and are writing for the people of Manchester rather than a national or global audience, as much as those other broadcasters are. To see those types of newspapers talking more favourably about the situation with Solskjaer, about our chances in the transfer market, I think is a good sign as to how far we've come. I know it says how far we've come, like we've done anything other than stay 5th. Because let's be honest, that's really all we've done in the last few weeks. But it does show this sort of turning tide in terms of both transfers and in terms of just the feeling around the club at the moment. But that's a good point. You're talking about the De Ligt transfer there. As we move on to a bit more detail on that story, and it was reports in an Italian newspaper there that this deal is not going to happen. They're saying that if De Ligt is to come to Manchester United, it would only be one of 2 reasons. Either one, a couple of years have passed, not happening now. A couple of years have passed and he's unsettled at Juventus, or because Juventus were desperate for the money. And that is where a potential swap deal, or him as a potential part of a swap deal for Paul Pogba, comes in. That was what was being rumoured by this Italian journalist. They were saying that if Juventus are desperate for money, then they may well have to get rid of De Ligt, but otherwise there would be no need for them to, and there'd be no reason that United would be trying to get De Ligt. So unfortunately, it looks as though those De Ligt rumours that only surfaced for a day or two may already have been spurned, squashed, quashed, quaffed even, popped them in, eaten them, and now they've been digested and pooped out as nonsense. Someone says, would Sancho, De Ligt and Sal be the right signings? Or do you think there are other places that need strengthening? Also, is it realistic we get all three? First of all, is it realistic we get all three? No. Would they be great signings? I don't know enough about De Ligt really, because I think he's had mixed reviews at Juventus, but I think he's a promising signing. I personally am quite keen on Lindelof, but I think De Ligt would be a great player to have at the club. Sal and Sancho, I think, would be excellent signings, both of them. What's the Sancho update? We'll get into the Sancho update because this, the likes of the Metro, the likes of the Express, again, these sort of perimeter level reliability transfer kind of outlets are talking again. It's we've been talking about this for the last couple of days, and the reason it's kind of hard to pin down because these are kind of what is being dripped in and dropped in as I'll tell you in a second. Throughout these articles, there've been a lot of articles written. Again, this one about De Ligt, Sancho, Kane, that kind of thing. We're seeing these articles where there aren't these major updates where United have done this, United have bid this, United have made this. We've seen that last week. We saw Romano come out and say, Fabrizio Romano come out and say that United have made contact with Jadon Sancho and his agent. We have seen other outlets such as Sky Sports coming out and saying the same thing. But what we're seeing now, and again, this is almost more telling for me, and let me know what you think to this, is we'll be having these articles written, like the one I was just reading from about De Ligt and Kane and Sancho and about this sort of tidal change at United potentially in terms of transfer targets. But what will be in there will be a line like, oh, and it's widely expected from sources inside the club that this transfer will be done. Or there'll be a line that says, and there are even rumours that Sancho's telling his friends that he'll be moving to Manchester United. There are these lines that are being put in which, as I've said in other videos, kind of echo rumours that we've heard specifically here at Stretford Paddock that are just suggesting that there is a kind of a general feel amongst those who kind of are part of this sort of deal that the Sancho deal is a lot closer to being done than certainly any of the rest of these deals. The contact has been made with Sancho. There is a sort of a public opinion and almost not necessarily public, but media opinion that this deal isn't far off being done. United are very confident that it will be done. And again, we're just sort of like leaning and driving down this road where Sancho's at the end of it. We're all just driving. The car's not going very fast because we don't even know when the transfer window opens. But he's at the end. He's not going anywhere. And again, anything can change at any time. But again, this is more articles each and every day coming out that are just putting this kind of mindset in place that United are very much favourites to sign Sancho. He's keen on joining United. United are keen on him joining, and we're willing to pay the money. They want 100 million, we're willing to pay it. He wants this amount of wages, we're willing to give it him. He's telling people that he's ready to join. United are telling people that they think he's ready to join. There's just a general kind of feeling and an opinion that is going around at the moment, and that is being reiterated and sort of enforced every single day that this transfer is just getting closer and closer and tighter to happening. And my heart is going to be broken if it doesn't happen. Juve feels like an awful fit for De Ligt. Yeah, maybe. Joe, is there a reason why we've never seen you and Jesus in the same place at the same time? Yeah, because he lives on the other side of the world. Would trades involving players not be the best way to get fair value for Pogba in the current financial environment? That's a good potential point. I always used to say, we'll move away from Sancho a little bit now. I always used to say, like I'm some scholar or something, but people always used to mention these swap deals in the media and stuff because it's a good article to write. It's a fun bit of transfer story. You're getting two clubs worth of players into one article, so perfect. More keywords, more tags, all that sort of stuff. You have to remember that kind of thing goes on as well, especially now that the internet is such a key part of the way that broad media and newspapers especially have transitioned from. I'm sure most newspapers get more clicks on their online papers than they do sales of their physical copies. I'm almost certain that all of them do. So what that means is they have to write articles for the internet rather than writing them for people to read or writing them for the truth. So keywords, for those of you who don't know what SEO is search engine optimization. So what you do is you write as many keywords on a given web page as possible, and that will bring people who search those keywords on their browser to your page. So if you get Manchester United and you get Juventus, and you get Ligt, and you get Pogba, and you get Pjanic, and you get Ramsey, all in one article, then you are getting the people that search for each individual one of those words coming to your article and giving you more ad revenue. Which is why I always say when we go on the Daily Mail website, look how many ads are on here. It's ridiculous. But they're probably getting 5 million views a month, or 5 million, or a couple of million views an article on a big article. So the more people that they can tag, the more football clubs they can tag. The reason why Manchester United are linked with so many players every month, and so many players every year, every transfer season, is because United have the most fans. Therefore, United articles will generate the most views and therefore the most money. So I think I always used to think that those swap deals were a really good way of combining different players, different stories, different key words to get as many people to look at an article as possible. And they never really happen. But Sanchez and Mkhitaryan switching Arsenal and United kind of made me eat my words a little bit. And I sort of think now as money gets more and more ridiculous, and it's hard to kind of, like, let's look at someone like David De Gea. So he's on 350 grand a week, which is horrendously high, which is more than any other goalkeeper in the world by probably quite a bit. But, so that might make him hard to sell. But he's still got 4 years left on his contract because he signed a contract last year. So in theory, he should be worth 80, 90 million. But then someone's got to pay that 350 grand a week on top. So it kind of brings his transfer fee down. But if you swap him for someone, or, who maybe is on a lot less money but is worth a lot more, you're kind of cutting out that how much is a contract valued over a transfer fee? How much is this player? So I think as the money just becomes astronomical, both in terms of wages and in terms of transfer fees, I think the chances of us seeing more and more swap deals is probably quite likely. But, maybe not Sancho for Pogba. I don't think Dortmund would want Pogba. I don't think he fits their model. I don't think he would be a quality kind of... I mean, to be fair, though, I know Dortmund like signing young players and stuff, but, like, you can't only sign young players, can you? Because at some point, if they want to win Champions Leagues and Bundesligas, they're probably not going to do it with a team full of 18-year-olds. You don't win anything with kids, we know that. Morning, lads. Morning, Luke. Now's a good time, actually, to mention our new memberships on the channel. We've got quite a few who joined yesterday, so thank you very much to everyone who joined. Click the little join button next to the subscriptions, and there's a few tiers if you want to support the channel. Obviously, it's a difficult time at the moment for anyone making any sort of media content at all, because I'm not in the studio, not doing all that sort of stuff. And anyway, you can help. There's loads of rewards and fun stuff that you get at each tier, so it's not just a charity thing. We are trying to give you a lot back for the money you do pay if you want to do that. And if not, you get exactly the same as you always did for free. So don't worry about it if you can't support us in that way. But it would be a massive help, and we'd be massively grateful if you could support us like that. Ben Ord saying love from Israel. Hello, mate. Right, let's talk about Belgium. Belgium are the first top flight league in Europe to decide their league. Interesting, isn't it? Club Brugge named champions as Belgian Pro League cancelled. They are the first, like I said, first top flight league in Europe to say, here is the conclusion to the 1920 season. No one else has done it yet. Everyone's sort of going, oh, we think we'll be back playing in July, which is, what? It was the 3rd of April. Is today, wait a sec. Is today the day that they originally said we might be coming to play again? Let me know in the comments. Was it the first? It was the 3rd of April, wasn't it? When they first suspended the Premier League, this was the day that we were maybe meant to be playing again, as of this weekend. Football's back, lads. I haven't really been keeping up with the news since then. They said the 3rd of April. I'm sure we'll be playing tomorrow. We got Tottenham. Oh, that's exciting, isn't it? Yeah. Can you imagine now? Imagine now if the games were on. Oh, yeah. We said the 3rd of April, so I guess we've got to play. I forgot that was today. Tomorrow, but yes, yeah, but it was because they could have been Friday night fixtures, so I think they were starting it. Today was the first possible day. They could have had a Friday night fixture, and then it was this weekend, wasn't it? Incredible. Was the 15th? No, yeah, 3rd of April. People saying 3rd of April. Can you believe it? The idea that we may have been playing again now. We are literally smack in the middle of what is the most unprecedented lockdown in history. So yeah, that didn't happen, did it? But they're now talking about a potential July reconvening of the league. potentially behind closed doors. It's going to be behind closed doors. The likes of Glastonbury and Wimbledon have been cancelled, and I think Wimbledon starts in July, so that's already cancelled. So interesting. Not quite sure how we're going to be playing football on the 1st of July, but we'll find out. Anyway, as an alternative and oh, hello, my laptop's gone a bit dodgy there. This could be bad. Hopefully we're still going. Hopefully we're still going live. I'm going to have to do it through my phone. Interesting this, isn't it? Belgian Pro League. Hopefully we're still live. Yes, the Belgian Pro League. Oh, this isn't good. Club Brugge to be named champions as Belgian Pro League is cancelled. Like I said, they're the first club across the country. That didn't make any sense. They're the first club across Europe to be given a Premier League. I can't speak because I don't know if this is even going out live at the moment. My laptop has completely crashed. I'm just going to read on as though it is. The Belgian Pro League is set to become the first major European league to be cancelled because of coronavirus. Club Brugge will be declared champions with the current league table set to stand. There was one match of the regular season to be played when the league was suspended, with the playoffs due to decide the top positions. The thing is, there are a couple of arguments here. One is that, we should just do the same for the Premier League, stop it where it is, let them play, let Liverpool have the title, that kind of thing. The second argument is, well, hang on a sec, Bruges are 15 points clear with the game to go. So they've won it anyway, haven't they? Well, also, no, they haven't, because they have a playoffs there. So the idea that it's not the same because, and obviously I don't want Liverpool to win the league as much as any guy, but the idea that they've already won, so we might as well just we are still in business. People saying we're still in business. A true professional. I have to watch myself on here now because my laptop's just gone. So I don't know how I'm going to end this video. I really don't know what is going on here. But I'll tell you what we'll do. Keep talking. The idea that they were 15 points clear with the game to go, but they're about to do the playoffs. It's not the same, is it? They are essentially it is essentially the same as Liverpool winning the league, as much as it pains me to say it. Liverpool haven't won the league yet, but they're huge favourites. They're the best team in the league, let's be honest. And Belgium and Bruges hadn't won the league yet. I know they're 15 points clear with the game to go, but again, this playoff system means that all the top six were going to go into a playoff anyway, I believe, as far as I'm aware, and as my interpretation of what's being said here. This top six were about to go into a playoff anyway. So they hadn't won the league yet. So it's only the same as Liverpool winning it, as much as it, like I said, I don't want to be saying that. I don't want Liverpool to win the league. But really, they deserve it. Someone says, how can you finish the season with games left to play? It's stupid. Yeah, it is stupid. But the problem is, this is a global pandemic, mate. This is all stupid. It's trivial. It's nonsense. If you give the Liverpool... Right, here's my honest thought on this. Give Liverpool the league. I don't want it to happen. Take the league away from them. It's not fair because they won it. Cancel the whole thing. Maybe fine, but then I don't want that for United either because I think we could have made top four. Like, none of it's fair. And finally play the thing. People may well be getting injured. People may well be getting not just the potential of catching coronavirus. People are going to be getting injured all over the place, having 6 weeks off, or 2 months off, or 10 weeks off, and then expected to play 9 games in 6 weeks. They're going to be absolutely battered, all these players, and next season is going to be horrendous for injuries because of everyone just being overworked this season. There is no fair, good, perfect solution to any of this. So I just think at some point we'll just have to pick something and go with it. Right, that's going to be all for me. Someone says no promotion, no relegation. Yeah, I think in Belgium, just to clarify that, they are promoting 2 teams, but no one is being relegated, I believe is the way they're doing things. So they're awarding the teams that have done well, but not punishing the teams that haven't done so well, but haven't had chance to prove exactly where they would finish yet. So I think, but that would mean a 22 team Premier League season next year with all these extra games being played at the end of this season. And like I said, people being out for 10 weeks, being injury prone, getting, all this sort of thing, and then not fit playing games. And then they have to play another 4 games next season. So there is no good, fair, perfect resolution that suits everyone other than hopefully we can play all the games safely. But again, that doesn't look likely at all at the moment either. Anyway, we're going to be back for a transfer review from Stephen House in a little bit, covering all of the week's transfers. There's some good ones in there. That will be in a little bit, like I said. And then later tonight, we have got Late Night Live. That's going to be a fun one. Make sure you tune in for that at 10 p.m. as always, every Friday night. Thank you very much for joining me. And hopefully, if this has stopped crashing and stopped lagging, we'll see you next time.